Let's start over. Bitcoin doing what I said it would do. Let's keep it really short. Now, we have this move up and it's an impulse, right? So price basically went sideways for going back to April, this big long sideways move. And then it finally broke upwards. And if you look at this move upwards, it really started to take off right here, right about there, right in November, right at the election is when it started to take off. And if you kind of treat that as one big impulse upwards and you draw a line from the bottom to the top, which is almost 100,000, you will see basically where price started to go sideways again, right? And this is called an impulse, where the price just jammed up really hard and then stopped jamming up. That's called an impulse in the market. So I draw a Fibonacci tool across the top of that, right? So this tool right here, from 1 to 0, and you got these 382 and 618. These levels are where price tends to come back to after moving in a hard manner. It's called the Fibonacci tool. And a 382, this 382 right here, you can see it, that yellow 382, that is a 38.2% move back down from the entire move up. And in this case, that's going to be about $87,000, maybe $88,000, depending on how you draw this. So with that being the case, I predicted that price may well retrace back down towards that. And, I use that and I use some other metrics as well. It's not just the fib tool that I'm using here, but the fib tool, among many other tools, has price heading back down towards 88,000-ish. Okay. Good morning, Record Crew, Mad Vet. Thanks for all the warnings, everybody. I appreciate that. And again, apologies for the technical difficulties. We'll just go ahead and start a little bit later and that'll be fine. And Hippocratic, Data with Dan, everybody. Wow, I love it. I mean, gosh, I should screw up my my sound more often to get a lot more comments that way. I love it. Jupo9, great. All right, good. So let's do this and back to the chart. So yeah, it does look like price will head down and grab that 87,000. But here's the thing about the bull run, right? When price is bullish, when the moon boys are out in force, and when the rest of the market knows the price wants to go up, if you're looking for a buy at 87, there's a really good chance it won't make it there. There's a really good chance that the smart money is going to front run you and they're going to buy in before you can get your entry. So if you're waiting for that entry and your metrics tell you it's almost time to buy, you might notice that price turns around and starts to head up. That might happen to you. So understand that during the bull market, you might not get the entry you're hoping for, and you got to really keep your eyes sharp. And if you're with Algo Factory, use your algos so you know that entry is coming, right? It's like, okay, looks like it's going to turn around. I'm going to grab it here, but make sure you follow whatever rules you've got and go from there. But yeah, my drawing from 2 days ago is coming true. A lot of people thought it would go up, and I do have those contingencies. You can see these arrows that I drew, this dotted arrow, and I'm going to delete this one. But those arrows that you see right there are, okay, it's ready to turn up. And understand that it can turn up just like the weekend. It can turn up really, really quickly. Understand that. It's the bull market. The indicators are such that they give you information about the past, right? That's how indicators work. They use past information. These indicators down here, we combine those to make algos. Just the same though, all my information says price will probably head down to the low 90s or even the high 80s, and that's what it's doing. Let's take a quick look at Solana. Now, Solana came down to a nice, healthy support, and my metrics had it to where it could turn around right here, but that would be dependent on Bitcoin turning around. Okay, so basically, price came down to where it had come down to before. Let's get ourselves a solid arrow on that. Give me just a second. Gonna fix that. Okay, so it came down to this area, and this is a great place for Solana to bounce. There's a lot of liquidity sitting right here in this consolidation. It's the bull market. I mean, this is a great place to go long. If somebody went long there, I would not blame them, and it might be a good move, and I might go long, but I need basically my algos to tell me I can go long. While that looks like a good move, and while it makes a lot of sense, and while I believe it is a 382, if we do like we did with Bitcoin, and it very well is a 382. Price came down, bounced off here, but it created a lower high. Now, Solana is interesting because I'm watching all these like 2017 coins and 2021 coins like, Chainlink and AVAX and all these. And some of them are starting to pump really well, like Phantom and whatnot. But the problem is that Solana should be pumping, if you ask me. More these other coins are not even being used. Ondo, all that. I mean, it's great. They're great coins, but they're all in the speculation phase. You have Solana that's being used regularly, and it's just not pumping. It's like waiting for Bitcoin or something. So it kind of has me wondering what's going on. I think you are in kind of a phase where some of these old coins are being pumped so people can kind of maybe get out of their positions. I know that's conspiratorial, but I think that's what's going on. Whatever's going on, though, I do believe profits will be put into Solana and or just Bitcoin. And I think Bitcoin will continue at some time. And if Bitcoin does not make its way past 100,000, I would be really surprised. I'd be very surprised. I would cry foul at that point. And I know, like I said, a couple days ago, crying foul might mean that I'm just having sour grapes because I lost my trade or something. But Bitcoin really wants to get past 100,000. Everything in the charts says that it wants to get past 100,000. So if Bitcoin continues to knock its head on 100, and yet it keeps it keeps failing. If that never breaks 100 this cycle, I'm going to say it was held down, because I think Bitcoin's top should be minimally 120,000 and probably between 140 and 160,000. But in the end, with the big boys now in the game, with IBIT shares and all these ETFs, anything and everything can happen. Let's give a little more time since we started late due to no audio. We're going to jump over into the indices. We're going to take a look at the markets here, the stock market, and we're going to see just how accurate my predictions were. I might have to jump over here, and let's go to ES1, which is the SP 500. And we'll go to the daily chart. Okay, where are my drawings? Let's see, which one am I on? Okay, I'm on the wrong chart. Let's go to here, ES1. And my drawings should be, there we go. Okay, so you guys and gals, just want you to see how accurate this is. If you did not watch the Sunday show, you messed up. You need to watch the Sunday show that I put out. I put it out every week on Sunday, usually in the afternoon. And this red magenta arrow, that's last week's prediction. And it does not get much more accurate than this. I predicted price would kind of bounce and run up. So I'm going to delete these old dotted arrows because those were contingencies. The main prediction occurred. So here is this week's prediction. Now that we've seen the red one be correct, I'm going to delete that too, magenta, whatever color. And I did predict that price would probably continue up. Now, I did also have these kind of contingency down, but that obviously didn't happen, and price is continuing up. Now, a lot of people did not really agree with us seeing a $6,000 SP 500 by the end of the year. And I was pretty specific on that. I'm saying we're probably going to see a 6,000 SP 500. A lot of people kind of said, yeah, right. Well, here we are. Not only do we meet that back in November 11th for an all-time high, but now we're well past it at 6,065. And that was one of my targets. Now, I do have a target easily by the end of the year, maybe by the end of the week, for 6140. That's a decent target. And I think price is probably just going to either crawl jaggedly up there or press all the way up there. And you're going to see similar things, I think, with the Dow. Again, the red prediction, I didn't even change that. That was my last week's prediction, right? So that's, again, I'll take that off. Now that we've seen how correct I was, I'll take that off. I'm going to take a brief look at the algos, and then this will be the last one here for the main Algo Factory. We'll jump into the private after this, but based on the algos, everything is bullish. So I do expect price to head right and upwards, up and to the right. So for now, with the Dow, this is Dow futures, I think what we're going to see at the open is probably at some point we'll see this range, maybe for a day or two, maybe for an hour or two, and then it's going to break up. I think that's what's going to happen. And by the end of the week, definitely, well, not definitely, nothing's for sure, but very, very likely by the end of the month, we'll see about 45,700 and say 45,745. That's kind of my number I have marked up. I'm front running. The real target's a little higher than that, about 45,800. But if I were to go long, then my target would be at about 45,744. So NASDAQ not quite as strong. Well, oh, hey, take that back. So it's even being stronger than my predictions, right? So last week's prediction, pretty accurate. It did stay below mostly, but it finally popped up at the end of the week. And this week's prediction in yellow, continuing up, and it's just following that nicely. It might be that NASDAQ is ready to go. It was being a little bit more slow than its index brethren. NASDAQ overperformed all year, right? So it just needed to take a breath, in my opinion, compared to the other indices. And now it may have taken that breath, and now we are seeing it continue up. I have a 21,637 target. I think, like I said, could be end of the week, could be end of the month, but unless we see some kind of a black swan or major event, this is probably what we're going to see. Something like this. So thank you all for watching. We're going to jump over to the private live lab, right? We're going to go in there to Algo Factory. And what we do here in the private live lab is I go through all the charts. Now, I'm primarily a Forex trader. I definitely want to go ahead and, trade Forex. I'll talk about Forex charts. I do want to get into the indices. I just have enough to do with Forex and crypto, or I haven't gotten into the indices yet. It's that simple. But I do eventually want to make it into index trading, because I think that actually is there's a lot of liquidity, tight spreads, and it's kind of obvious what to do with the indexes. So that being said, we're going to go over to the private live lab. Thank you all for watching. AlgoFactory.tech. Come on over, learn how to trade, learn how to build your own algos. You see these little tabs on the screen, the green and the red. They're pretty darn accurate. They win most of the time. That's an algo that I built, and I teach people how to build algorithms. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to necessarily have these tabs on the screen. I went ahead and had my algo hard coded, right? I had it coded to where it tells me what to do, but this is something you can do without that. You can just simply understand what to do based on these kind of data on the bottom of the screen, right? You can do your own algo. It doesn't take a whole lot of like understanding of math or science or anything like that. I can teach just about anybody, and it's a great thing. So AlgoFactory.tech, come learn how to trade like a hedge fund pro, and we will see you on the next one.
Join us or die.